In this lesson, we will learn about configuring network shared drives at ITLifeSkills. First, we will learn about the network shared drives at ITLifeSkills and what shared permissions we will configure for these network shared drives. After that, we will learn about the system account NTFS permissions and analyzing the NTFS permissions for each network drive. Finally, we sum up our lesson with the keynotes. In ITLifeSkills, there are four main network shaped drives mapped to users' computers. The first drive is a public drive. It is mapped as the B drive. This network drive is to store non-important files shared by all users in ITLifeSkills and not being backed up. The next drive is the user's drive. It is mapped as a use drive. This network drive is to store users' home folders. Then the next one is the department's drive. It is mapped as a O drives. This network drive contains folders with department names. Users can only access the folders with the same names as their department names. And the last drive is the project drives. It is mapped as the R drive. This network drive contains folders related to projects. Users assigned to projects can access their related project folders. At ITLifeSkills, all network drives are shared folders stored on the disk formatted with NTFS file systems of Windows servers. To simplify the permission assignment process, these are the two shared permissions granted on all network drives at ITLifeSkills. The first one is the domain users granted with the change permission, and the second one is the domain admins granted with the full control permissions. With these permissions, all domain users can access the network shared drives. However, what actions they can do with the files and folders within the drives are controlled by the NTFS permissions. Let's now learn about the system account in Windows. As you may know, the system account in Windows is an internal account used by the operating system and services to sign in internally, such as during installation. It has the same permissions and functional rights as the local administrator account. Here are some details about the system account. The system account is internal and does not appear in User Manager. By default, the system account has full control to all files on an NTFS file system volume. The system account can be found in the permission section of the security menu in File Manager on an NTFS file system volume. The system account does not have a password. Let's now analyze what NTFS permissions required for the public drive. As you may know, to safeguard, the local and domain admins have full control NTFS permissions on the public drive and all files and subfolders. For all domain users who map the B drive, they can see, access, write, or delete all the files and folders in the B drive. They can also create new files or folders in the B drive. However, they cannot change permissions and cannot take ownership of files and folders in the public drive. These above requirements allow domain users to have modified NTFS permission on the B drive. Let's create public folder and share it. To do that, we need to right click and click new folder and type in public. To share it, we just need to right click and click on properties and click on sharing and click shares, and here we just click share and click done. To grant the permission, we click on advanced sharing and click on permissions, and here we remove everything and add. First we add the domain users and check names, and we allow the change permissions for the domain users, and now we add the domain admins and click on check names and click OK and allow full controls. Click OK and click close. That's it. Now let's grant NTFS permissions on the public folder. To do that, we need to right click on the folder and click on properties and click on security tab and click on advanced button. And first we need to disable inheritance, and we need to convert inherited permissions into explicit permissions on these objects. And now we need to expand the principal, and first we remove the local administrator and creator owner users and now we add, first we need to add the domain admins. So we type in domain admins and check names and click OK, and we grant full control and click OK. Now we need to grant the permission for the domain users. Here we type in domain users and click on check names. For the public drive, we need to grant the modify permissions for the domain users. So click modify and click OK and click OK and click OK. That's it. Let's now analyze what NTFS permissions required for users drive. As you may know, when a home folder of a user, for example, user A, is created in the users folder during the account creation process, account user A is automatically granted with full control NTFS permission on her home folder, user A. With the permission, users can access and have full control on their home folders, but they cannot access the use drive or any home folders of other users. Also, to safeguard, the local and domain admins must have full control and NTFS permission on the users folder. Let's create users folder. To do that, we need to right click and click new and click folder. And now we type in users and hit enter. Now we need to configure the share permission. To do that, we need to right click on the users folder and click on properties and click on sharing and click share and just click share and click done and click advanced sharing and click on permission. Now we remove all the share permission and add the domain admins and click check names, and we grant the full control permission, and now we add the domain users and we click on check names and we grant the change permission and click OK and click OK and click close. That's it. Now we need to configure the NTFS permissions on the users folder. To do that, we need to right click on the users folder and click on properties and click on security tab and click on advanced and click disable inheritance and convert. And now we remove users and users. And now we just need to add the domain admins. Here we type in domain admins, then click on check names and click OK. And we grant the full control permission and click OK and click OK. And as you can see, the domain admins have the full control permission. Now just click OK. That's it. Let's now create the home folder for user A on the file server. To do that, we need to double click on the user A account and click on the profile tab and click connect. Here we select the U drive and we paste in this script. As you can see, this is the path to the user's share folder on the file server cpvfs01, and we put in percent username percent, and when we click apply, it will pick up the username of user A, which is user A, which means it will create the home folder for the user A as the user A on the file server cpvfs01. That's it. We just need to click OK. Now let's repeat the same step for user B. So double click on the user B and click on the profile tab and click connect. Then we select the U drive and we paste in the same script and click apply and click OK. That's it. Let's now verify NTFS permissions of user A and user B on their home folders. To do that, we need to open users folder and right click on the user A folder and click on properties and click on security tab, and then we select user A account. As you can see, user A account has full control NTFS permissions on the user A folder, and other permissions stay the same, so just click OK. Now we need to repeat the same steps on the user B folder. So right click on the user B folder and click on properties and click on security tab, and here we select user B. As you can see, user B also has full control NTFS permission on the user B folder, and other permissions stay the same, so just click OK. That's it. Let's now log on to a Windows 10 computer in the domain as user A to verify. After login, just open File Explorer, and as you can see, the user A's home folder is automatically connected after I log in, and I created the My Documents folder earlier and it showed up. Now let's create a new folder in the home folder. So click new folder and we type in my pictures and hit enter. As you can see, user A have just created my pictures folders in the home folder. Let's connect to the user share folders that contain all the user home folders. As you can see, user A cannot connect to the user's share folder. Just close it. And now let's connect to the user A home folder from the network. As you can see, user A can connect to user A's home folder from the network. Now let's try to connect to user B home folder from the network as user A. So we just change this to user B and hit enter. As you can see, user A cannot connect to user B home folder. So everything looks good. Let's close this. Here are the requirements for NTFS permissions on departments drive. First, To safeguard, the local and domain admins have full control NTFS permissions on the departments folder. When a user, for example, user A, map the O or department's drive, she can see all department folders in the O drive. However, she cannot create new files or folders in the department's drive. She can only access the folder with the same name as her department. These above requirements require domain users to have read and execute NTFS permissions on the department's folder. Let's now create the departments folder. To do that, we just right click and click new and click folder. And here we type in departments. Now we need to grant the share permissions on the departments folder. To do that, we need to right click on the department folder and click on properties and click on sharing and click on share and click done and click on advanced sharing and click on permission. Here we remove everything and add the domain users and click on check names. And here we grant the change permission and click apply, and then we add the domain admins and click check names, and then we click OK and we grant the full control permission and click apply and click OK and click OK and click close. That's it. Now we need to configure NTFS permissions on the departments folder. To do that, we need to right click on the departments folder and click on properties and click on security tab and click advanced button. Here we click disable inheritance and we click on convert inherited permission into explicit permissions. And now we need to remove the users and the local administrator account and click add, and we click select a principal. Here we type in domain admins and click on check names and click OK, and we grant the full control permissions and click OK, and then we click on add and we click on select a principal and type in a domain users and click on check names and click OK, and here we grant the read and execute permission, and it will select the list and folder contents and read permission all together. So we just click OK and click OK and click OK. That's it. The requirements for NTFS permissions on projects drive are very similar to departments drive. First, to safeguard, the local and domain admins have full control NTFS permissions on the projects folder. When a user, for example, user A, maps the R or projects drive, she can see all projects folders in the R drive. However, she cannot create new files or folders in the projects drive. She can only access the project folders of all the projects that she is working on. These above requirements require domain users to have the read and execute NTFS permissions on the projects folder. Let's now create the projects folders. To do that, we need to right click and click new folder, and we type in projects, and now we need to configure the share permissions on the projects folder. To do that, we need to right click on the projects folder and click properties and click sharing and click on share, and we click share and click done and click on advanced sharing and click permissions, and here we remove all the entries and click add, And here we type in domain admins and click check names and click OK, and we grant full control permissions and click apply and click add, and here we type in domain users and click on check names and we grant change permission and click apply and click OK and click OK and click close. That's it. Now we need to configure NTFS permissions on the projects folder. To do that, we need to right click on the projects folder and click on properties and click on security tab and click on advanced button, and we click disable inheritance and click convert. And now we need to remove users and the local administrator account and add and click on select a principal. Here we type in domain admins and click on check names and click OK and grant full control permission and click on OK and click add, and here we click on select a principal and type in domain users and click on check names, and then we just grant read and execute permission, and it will select list folder contents and read permission all together. So we just click OK and click OK and click OK. That's it. It's the end of this lesson. Let's read the keynotes